Let's party. Let's always a party. Let's go, Paul.
Yo, baby, what's up? Happy day to you.
That's kind of messed up. Your dad was calling us, or the guy said us. Your dad was calling you, and you're like, I decline. Let's get the show going.
Yeah, my dad.
What if it was an emergency?
He'll call me back again. But my dad tried to call me. I was like, we're about to start the show. I gotta focus on the party here.
Back on schedule. Boys are back on schedule.
Back on schedule every Tuesday. We're dropping new shows. If you're a listener and you're just itching for that new party every week, they do release Monday night technically.
It's sneak peek.
Yeah, full show. 7 o'clock, usually 7:30 or 8 at the latest. But we try to get those shows out Monday night if you're listening. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and even YouTube. But YouTube, if not, it will release in the morning.
And our shows get better and better because we're upping our cocaine dosage per pre-episode.
I saw somebody commenting on our YouTube about how we talked about how cocaine used to be in Coca-Cola.
Yeah, what did they say?
And they said, well, I think cocaine was in medicine. Like, a lot of people would take cocaine for medicine. So then it was, like, put in a Coke. And I'm like, dude, I mean, a lot of people still do Coke. Maybe they think it's medicine.
We just go to the pharmacy and get, like, a cocaine?
I think it was just in certain types of medicine. And, everyone turned out okay. So I don't know I don't know why we don't do that now.
How was your weekend, Paul?
My weekend? Just exhausting, my guy.
Exhausting, okay.
Did you party it? You party a little bit?
I did go to the bar this weekend. I did a little bit of partying because, life is a party.
Life's a party every day.
But I ran into a dilemma, I would say. So we've been out. We go out together.
Yes, that's true.
And when we sit at a table, because since the COVID thing, you haven't been able to go to the bar, so you sit at tables. And one thing we did was we played this game called Fingers, right?
Yes.
Where everyone puts a single finger on the bucket of beer bucket, and then you guess how many fingers are going to be left on the bucket.
Yes.
And if you get it right, you take your finger off, and the last man standing has to buy a round of shots for that table.
That's true.
So the dilemma and the problem I ran into was that I lost the game of fingers at the bar.
Okay.
So I went over to the bartender, who I'm a little friendly with, and I was like, I have a problem. I have to buy 10 shots. I just lost the game. We played back at the table. Can we make a deal or something? I was like, they want tequila. I know tequila's a little pricey, but can you mean that like a salesman? Like,
Are you cheaping out? Were you cheaping out on your friends? You were basically saying, hey, like, I'm trying to get the cheap drink?
I was like, hey, they want tequila. I know we won't go as low as El Toro, the tequila. I mean, I don't know. Jose Cuervo would make a deal. He's like, I'll tell you what, they're $6 a shot. I'll do $42.50 for him. I was like, okay. So he brings them out, but the next problem, he didn't bring any fruit. So all the girls at the table are like, oh, I can't take this. What is this? There's no limes or lemons.
They want the lime or the salt. They're like, yeah.
So the table was breaking into like guys and girls. And he was like, okay, well, who do I have to go cut limes for? Like he was blatantly upset that he had to go back and cut limes. And every girl raised their hand, and then there was my bitch ass thing. I was like, yeah, I need one. I need one of those. So you need the lime. And we talk about this on the show.
Yeah, you need the lime. I think tequila, the lime makes it better, salt makes it better. But yeah, I don't like that, man. You're trying to cheap out.
Well, I knew I could. I'm silky smooth with my words, Paul. I can finesse a situation when I'm put in that scenario.
Here's the thing, though. If you lose and everyone's at the table's like, yo, tequila, and someone comes back and they buy the cheap tequila or they buy something else.
Well, it was Jose Cuervo. I just got it was $42.50 instead of $60.
Okay.
That's what happens when you got a podcast that's thriving, Paul.
Yeah,
you get the discounts at the bar.
I mean, whatever you say.
You know what would be funny? I saw this challenge, the crate challenge. You probably know more about it than me. But what if someone did that after taking some tequila shots?
Nobody can even get that challenge done sober.
So what is this challenge?
If you're on TikTok at all, you or anywhere, Twitter, I've been seeing it everywhere. This is the milk crate challenge or the crate challenge, and it's basically neighborhoods, people coming together. It's a lot of fun, and everyone's stacking crates on top of each other, kind of in a pyramid formation. And the idea is for you to get from one end to the other, and it's just a lot of stability. You got to have a lot of balance, and a lot of people are falling flat on their face, and when they're like 10 feet up off the ground. So it's kind of like fun. It's definitely
testing everybody's true athleticism. It's like, who is truly athletic? What I think is funny is the ones I was seeing in the beginning, they're like nasty falls. Like people are seriously getting hurt. And then it's funny because like as the challenge prolongs, that you start to see like people who are surrounded and filming it, they're like moving up to be like a spotter to catch them. They're like, okay, people can die out here, so we're gonna get closer and we're gonna catch you if you fall.
Well, I saw a picture of a guy on Twitter and he was back. like it's literally looked like his lung is about to be ruptured. Like that's how bad it is that he hit his back on like the ground or the crates or whatever. There's videos of kids like falling on their head.
It's the dumbest shit I've ever seen.
But there's some cool ones too, where I saw a guy. You probably saw this one. This one's going viral, but he was doing the crate challenge while rolling a blunt.
I saw that.
He was rolling a blunt and he's like walking up the crate and everyone's like, "Yeah, let's go, let's go."
I saw that. I was gonna bring that. That is hilarious.
There was a girl I just saw. She did it in heels. Dude, she like took the challenge up a notch and was like, "Yo, I got this." Was doing it in heels. I've seen Pete, dude.
I saw Bradley Martin did it while like, eating like a Chipotle bowl.
I saw that one too.
And then when he got to the top, he did like what are these things called? Clearly, if you watched the last episode, and I had to give $5 every time I go to the gym. If I don't know what this is, I'm not going to the gym.
Ryan is curling his biceps.
Yeah, I forgot this is a podcast.
That's the motion that he was doing on camera. But yeah, some guy, he went to the top. I think it's like 7 crates across. And then you go up in a pyramid. So you're like pretty high off the ground. You maybe like 7 crates up.
I have a great idea.
Okay.
If this episode on YouTube, so subscribe, give an alert. If this episode gets 30 likes on YouTube, I think that's manageable. Me and Paul will do the crate challenge.
Okay, I like that. I was thinking about doing it anyway.
But here's this: we'll take tequila shots and then do it. All right, let's not get crazy.
Yeah, let's just do it sober first, and then if we're feeling up to it,
let's snort cocaine, take tequila shots, chug a Four Loko, and then do the crate challenge. Like it's already difficult enough. All right, well, let's get into the show.
So we're starting the show off. We're going to do these seltzers. If you follow us on Instagram, we were looking for your suggestions in alcohols to test, to taste test. We're going to be doing a bunch of these very soon when we move to our new set. We're going to do a whole thing on our YouTube channel, new episodes, just doing taste tests of hard seltzers, of new beers, of things coming out in the fall. Christmas is going to be a lot of fun. If you definitely follow us over on Instagram at Life's Party Pod, and you can give us some ideas of what we should taste test next. This is Vizzy Hard Seltzer.
Yeah, someone hit us up, and we didn't know what to try, and someone was like, "Hey, try this Vizzy." Apparently, it came out in March, so I don't even know. I'm not good at months. I'm like the kid that didn't know the order of the months. Like I have to go through the whole thing. Okay,
it's like 6 months ago.
Regardless, 6 months year old to Vizzy. Happy birthday! It is a hard seltzer, antioxidant, vitamin C. So very good for you. So kids out there watching Little Johnny, you can substitute this in for orange juice.
Yes.
It has the same vitamin C's. So instead of waking up and having your glass of orange juice, Little Johnny, 10 years old, have a little glass of Vizzy. Good idea?
Yeah, whatever you say.
All right, well, someone hit us up. They said, try it out. Apparently, it's a hot topic on the seltzer realm. I don't even know what that is.
It's always cool to try new seltzers.
First flavor.
Yeah, this one. We're going to start. This is a classic one.
Black cherry lime we got.
Oh, they got, my favorite 2 flavors of seltzer.
You know what's funny about these? They have 4 different flavors: black cherry lime, pineapple mango, blueberry pomegranate, and strawberry kiwi. So these are like 2 flavors you don't really see mixed that often.
They're mixed flavors. That's what's nice about these too. But for White Claw, literally black cherry and lime are my favourotes. So
there you go. It's a combination.
Hopefully,
it's the 1-2 punch.
This will be 1-2 punch, 2 fish, 1 hook.
Mm-hmm. Ooh.
What's the strongest flavor out here?
Black cherry.
Do you feel the black cherry more than lime?
I feel the black cherry bursting out.
I feel the black cherry too. I don't really taste much lime.
I don't taste any lime. It literally tastes exactly like a black cherry White Claw. Does it not? Like, what's the difference between this and a White Claw?
Pretty much the same. Yeah, I agree. So this is Vizzy. Were these cheap? You said they were cheap.
I don't know. $18, is that cheap? For 12?
For 12? I feel like that's what the
I'm not a cheap person, so people out there.
No, I'm saying if this is like similar to White Claw, you don't want to pay for the White Claw brand. You maybe find some cheaper, some cheaper seltzers for you.
I like it. I'm gonna give the black cherry lime a 7.4.
That's pretty good.
That's a fair score, pretty decent score.
I'm gonna follow there, 7.3.
Okay.
I think 7 is good for this for sure.
All right, grab the next one, Paul.
Next one we got.
I'm giving it a 7.4, and then you gave it a 7.3.
We
never write this down, but I'm gonna start writing it down.
I'm not going to like this one.
What is this?
This is the hint of strawberry kiwi.
Hint of strawberry. That's one thing I hate at the bar. My buddy showed up at the bar this weekend, and he said, "Can I get a vodka, vodka cran with like a splash of cran?" I hate, don't splash, just ask for the cran. Then what is a splash?
Splash of pineapple.
I
splash
screamed
of
over the
cran.
bar. I was like, make sure you do a splash. Exactly a splash. And he was like, yeah, I will. All right, what do we got here? There you go. Paul loves that. People love that sound.
Love the crack. You know.
You love the. Okay.
Love every type of crack. You know what I mean?
Okay.
This is the strawberry kiwi.
You love butt crack?
Yeah, you love every types of cracks. You know what I mean?
Strawberry kiwi.
Are you a kiwi fan?
I am not. I don't think. I actually is that. I was gonna ask if it was a fruit. It definitely is a fruit.
Yeah, kiwi I think is a fruit.
It smells pretty good.
I don't know about
Did you
this
give
one.
it a sip already?
I already did. Yeah, I'm not sure about this one.
Ooh, I like this.
I'm already done.
Well, you like strawberry flavor.
I do like strawberry. I've had kiwi, like straight kiwi seltzers before. I don't know who makes them. I forget.
You know what this tastes like? This tastes like if you were just to take a bite of a strawberry seed or a kiwi seed.
It's like doesn't have too much flavoring. You don't think? What do you think is more? Do you think strawberry or kiwi?
It's like strawberry to start and then kiwi to finish.
I agree.
It's like strawberry is the opening, the starting pitcher, and then the kiwi's coming in the ninth to close it out.
Kiwi's the main act. Strawberry's the opener.
There we go. We got movie, theater analogy, and sports analogy. I don't like it as much. It's very good flavor. I'm gonna go 7-1.
Nah, I'm gonna go 5-4.
5-4.
I'm not a fan of the kiwi.
All right, next one.
Next one. Oh wait, what?
Oh wait, what?
You're asking me what's going on?
I'm not writing these down. It's too much.
Why? You're not one. Wait, what did I said?
7-1 and 5-4.
Yeah. It's not that hard, buddy. You just press the keys. This one, Vizzy Hard Seltzer, hint of blueberry pomegranate.
I don't want a hint. I want a splash.
So do you know the famous Vine where it's like this old professor, this woman, and she's like, no more pomegranates.
Why would a professor ever scream that out during a class?
That's the thing, right? It makes absolutely no sense.
It sounds familiar.
Go check this Vine. Go look at it if you have the time. No more pomegranates. It'll come up straight on YouTube. It is the funniest video you will ever see. This professor of a college, she's going over the rules like of her classroom or whatever. And literally, like on the PowerPoint, it's like, no pomegranates. And she's screaming it, and it's the funniest thing in the world.
Oh, this tastes like detergent.
You don't like it?
I love blueberry. I don't even know what a pomegranate is. Like, if you said, Ryan, draw me a pomegranate for $1 million, I would have no idea where to begin. Is it like a pear?
I don't know. I don't know. Well, it's got the seeds. I think I do know.
If I said, Paul, draw me a pomegranate, you get $5,000. You think you'd do it?
No, I don't think I could.
That's a good, like, has anyone ever seen a pomegranate? I don't know what that is. I feel like that's just like a candle flavor at Yankee Candle.
So far, this is my least favorite, the blueberry pomegranate.
It tastes like I ate like a Tide Pod.
Do you know what that tastes like?
No, I'd be dead if I knew what that tastes like.
I'm not a fan.
That is tastes like detergent. I think that's. I'm going 3-8.
Okay, 3-8.
Yep.
I was gonna go in the 4s. 4-1.
5-4. Oh, that was the last one.
Yeah.
3-8 for pomegranate blue. And you said 5-4?
Yeah.
Again?
No, I said 4-1.
Oh, 4-1. 4-1. All right, last one. Pineapple mango. I don't like either. So
these are not doing well for us, man.
But I know they have potential. I mean, our taste buds are kind of childish.
Okay.
To be fair, our taste buds suck.
But here's the thing. I don't know how I feel.
Maybe we shouldn't do this segment.
No, but here's the thing. I like a lot of these flavors. I just don't know how I feel about putting them together because I think putting them together is getting like the strawberry kiwi. That's a famous flavor. People put that,
Strawberry kiwi. Yeah, it's good.
People put together. The blueberry pomegranate. I like the blueberry, but it was like so gross. Next to the pomegranate, I was like throwing up in my mouth.
Maybe this is like groundbreaking stuff, though. Maybe it's like we're gonna be the first ones to combine these flavors. So it's like our taste buds do suck. I was golfing the other day, and I got a Bud Light and a water, and they didn't have chicken fingers on the menu, so the waitress came over and I was like, "Do you guys have chicken fingers?" And just started laughing at me. It's like I can't order chicken fingers and Bud Light at the same time. That's what I enjoy: chicken fingers and Bud Light.
I think that's a good meal. Honestly.
I do too. And she like laughed, and she was like, "Yeah, but we have like buffalo tenders." I was like, "What the fuck? How do you not have chicken fingers? Who doesn't have chicken fingers?" All right, sorry. That was my rant.
Last one we have here is hint of pineapple mango. Are you a pineapple fan?
I don't even want to try this, to be honest.
I don't like pineapple.
People love pineapple. People love like grilling pineapple. Like pineapple and like steak or like shish kebabs.
I've seen that, yeah.
I'm not going to like this. I hate mango and I don't like pineapple.
I don't like pineapple.
Oh, this is horrible. Oh my God. -2. Final answer. -2. This is my first negative score.
Oh man, I'm gonna say 2.
2-2.
2.1.
2.1.
I think you just have to give it like credit because I think if we didn't obviously hate pineapple with the passion, I hate pineapple. I really don't like the flavor. I've had it sometimes.
You could be
in
allergic.
seltzers. I hope to God not. No,
That would be a very interesting show.
I've had it a few times, but this is just definitely not the vibes. But if you like these fruits, you can try it. Vizzy Seltzer. See what our opinions are. But if you're not a huge fruit guy, don't do it.
How would you describe this? Let me try one more time. Oh, it's bad. I don't know if it's just you described it best.
What? Throw open your mouth?
No, it's just that we don't like that fruit.
Okay.
So we can't really like it. It doesn't have a chance. But here, they're great. I think they're a good buy. Like if you're in the seltzer game, I think these arguably have the most flavor that we've had yet.
Yes,
Don't you agree?
I agree. They have a lot of flavor to them.
There's a lot to talk about when you try these. Because you could taste the difference and the balance in the flavors. And there's 4 different drinks with 2 flavors per one.
Yes.
You got 8 flavors in a case. It's definitely
yeah.
I meant like you definitely should go try them.
Yeah, you got potential. Check them out. Vizzy Hard Seltzers. I'm gonna sip on the favorite of this, the black cherry and the lime, and let's start this show.
All right, let's do it. What we got? I'm kicking this one. Here we go. Block 1. So we're back to starting off with a game called Initial Reaction. You like when I name games?
I don't actually.
Right,
I think that's just in your head. You're like, you know what? I'm really smart with these. Everyone's got to love them.
Not chain reaction, initial reaction. So we're going to go down some words, phrases, etc., and we're going to each give our initial reaction. Who would have thunk it? So let's go. I'm going to go first. The first word. Paul, give me your initial reaction. First thing that pops in your head when you hear the Beatles.
Iconic.
Okay.
If you like the Beatles, my stepdad loves the Beatles. When I was doing road trips when I was younger, I was hearing the Beatles all the time. So I definitely am. I was exposed to their music, even though it's, very old.
Okay.
And, my name is Paul McGroarty, and the lead singer.
Paul
McCartney.
That is such a reach. That's the biggest reach I've ever heard in my entire life.
No, it's not. Because
why is that not a reach? It's not even close. You have Paul. There's many Pauls in the world.
Yeah, but Paul McGroarty, Paul McCartney, and I'm telling you, when I
correlation.
Yeah, when I would go out to different places and tell people my last name, they'd always be like Paul McCartney, Paul McCartney. They'd always say, "Oh, Paul McCartney." Oh, I read that wrong. I swear to God, dude, all the time. So I already have that, that like tie-in right there with Paul.
There's no tie.
And I like the music. It's definitely a certain taste, but I think they started a lot of what we know as music today, and especially the rock and roll genre. Like they were the builders of that. So
ask me what I think of.
What do you think?
Overrated. I think they're the most overrated band group ever assembled.
Why?
First of all, I don't even think they wrote their own music.
They definitely did.
I don't think they did.
Who wrote it?
What was that movie that came out about the Beatles?
Yesterday.
I'm pretty sure they didn't write their own music. And if they did, I better hope they did, because I feel that your boy Paul McCartney, who you have ties to,
yeah, Paul,
is not a very good vocalist.
Why
and
not?
I don't know if it's just because I didn't really see him in his prime, but like if I go back and listen to the songs, or even when he performs now, which maybe is not fair because he's like 80, but I just don't think he's one of the like. When you think of the Beatles, you would think that the lead singer would be such a great vocalist. Like when you think of like NSYNC or like the Backstreet Boys, you think of like Justin Timberlake, the Jonas Brothers, Nick Jonas. They're both very talented lead singers.
Yeah.
I don't think Paul McCartney's on that level. And it's just like the whole persona of the Beatles, and it was like the Michael Jordan of music. I just don't understand the hype. I don't even like their songs, to be honest. Here Comes the Sun. That's a decent song.
There's a lot of really good songs, and I think it's more of the songwriting aspect, as you said. I think
I don't think they write their own songs.
They definitely do.
We're gonna have to ask.
But it's definitely their songwriting ability is what made them famous, and that's what the movie Yesterday. If you ever check it out, I really like that movie.
I watched it.
Okay,
I think we did a review on here.
Did we? Yeah, I think we did.
We might have.
And that movie, it really harps on like their amazing songwriting. So, Beatles. You like them, you love them. I think that's always a common thing when people talk about. They either like love them or hate them.
I think a lot of their songs sound the same. I mean, you could say that about many artists. I have a question.
Most artists, I
have a question for you.
Yeah.
And it doesn't pertain to the Beatles, but I guess it kind of correlates with their like persona. So I saw a video where someone was asking people in the office. It might have been Barstool, who we're going to talk about soon later here. Who do you think the modern Michael Jackson is of this generation? Was that Barstool?
Yeah, I think it was Barstool. And the guy said...
they said Bruno Mars.
They said Bruno.
And it's hard to argue that. I know you've seen him in concert. You said he's one of the best performers. I heard other people say that Bruno Mars is one of the best performers like of this generation. He might be the Michael Jackson of our generation.
I think it's hard to... Because I studied a little bit of Michael Jackson in college, and it's...
What was that little place he had? Like the... Okay, we're not going to talk about the little boys.
Oh, no. No, we're not talking about the scandals. But in terms of, like, music...
Macaulay Culkin?
No. What are you talking about?
I heard things.
No. Michael Jackson had... You know, he went through so much different types of music. Obviously, he was in music as a little...
Jackson 5.
A little kid, yeah.
And then he had himself.
But he had a lot of his music. And his, like, certain albums... I think it's the Bad album or the Thriller album, one of them, that has, like, 4 #1 hits on it. And it was, like... crazy for its time.
Yeah.
He was saying how at that time there was a lot of people who were like, you know, each album had like 1 or 2 hits, you know, and that kind of thing. And he was like, why? He's like, he took him a really long time to write that album, but it was, hey, this album's going to be the best album of all time. And it was just that type of energy that he put into his music that made him who he was. And I think,
do you think like people like don't think that way? Like you're saying like Michael Jackson when he's making an album, he wants every song to be the biggest hit of all time.
Yeah.
Do you think I'm maybe like some artists be like, hey, I like this song. It's like a personal message to me. It has like a personal space in my heart. I want to add to the album, but I know it might not do well in the public. You think people act like that?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And there's a lot of things I think with artists just having to fill out their album.
True.
It's like, hey, like I have like 4 top hits, or I have a few songs that I think are really good, but I have a bunch of these other songs that we kind of recorded, and you know, I like them, and we know they're okay, and it was just kind of to fill out that album.
But MJ was built different.
Yeah, and that's why a lot of times you don't see artists put out albums. They'll put out single, and then single, and then single, and then like 6 months later you'll see like a single. So it's like that whole idea where they're just putting out their hits, where they're not creating an album. But I think not gonna lie, I think you either have Bruno Mars or this is gonna be an unpopular opinion, but I think you can look at Justin Bieber.
I agree with
because
Justin Bieber.
Honestly, I've talked about this with my girlfriend, and it is insane how many hits and how prolific for so long Justin Bieber has been.
And he's evolving, right?
Yes.
Bruno's stuff kind of seems like it's not as corny. I was talking this with my girlfriend the other day. So it's like Bruno had those big hits like Marry Me, Billionaire? Was that not Bruno Mars?
That's him.
And then all those other hits, smash hits when we were like younger. But like as he's getting older, he's starting to do stuff with like Anderson .Paak and really like show his true vocals.
It's it's different too, which is nice.
I love how like artists, as they've evolved, they'll like display their vocals a lot. Like Bieber's doing that now.
Bieber has changed completely. I mean, obviously he came on the scene as a teenager, but I think that idea of like what we saw for him when he came out,
it was like 90% like 12-year-old girls were his fans. And 90% girls, and then like 10% Ryan were his fans in 2010.
But now you look at it, and like he was so prolific on the radio for so long that it was like, dude, at one point I thought like Bieber had 3 songs on the radio.
Yeah,
and I was like, this, and they were all great. Like they were all phenomenal. Or if not, he was putting himself in really good position to be featured on other songs. Just like right now with Stay with Kid Laroi.
Yeah.
And like he's on that song. And yeah, that's not his song, but the same idea. Like most people think of him because he's just a more famous person, but he has a really good part on that song, and he makes that song, you know, as good as it is.
One last thing on music is we're really taking it up here.
Yeah, it's good though.
Is that it's crazy. I love the stories, not even just music, but like people who are given songs. Oh, Camila Cabello. I saw a TikTok.
Yes.
About Camila Cabello was offered literally all the like the middle, I think.
Yeah.
Like, don't you meet me in the middle? I could be wrong. I don't know the specifics. That's the song middle though.
Yeah.
But she turned that down, and she turned down Bieber's hit, Lonely, I think. Isn't that Bieber's song? Lonely or something?
Yeah.
She turned that down. So she's turned down all these hits. It's just like a movie. Like people turn down movies, and they turn out to be one of the greatest movies of all time.
I think it was somebody was talking about that song Closer.
That's what Camila Cabello. She turned down Closer.
And it was like, oh, I turned this down, and 2 months later, you can't walk 5 feet without hearing it. Like it was literally everywhere. So that's what's interesting too.
Yeah.
I mean, for those artists to be given different stuff. But I know a lot of times too, like if an artist likes a song, they'll try to change it to fit them a little bit better.
Right.
They'll be like, oh, we're going to change this a little bit. Or when they write it, they change it so it fits that artist's style. Because as you said, I mean, like, you know, like the Beatles, they kind of all sound the same. But like that's the point. Like that's their style. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't know about Bruno, but I know Bieber gets handed a lot of his shit. So to say that he's the Michael Jackson of our generation, that could be the one like devil's advocate is that like, hey, he's given these songs and these lyrics to perform it, and he just has to perform it. So that's like the one outlier you could say that he doesn't deserve to be the generational talent of Michael Jackson.
All right, so the second one we have here, what do you think of it when I say the Super Bowl halftime show?
Well, if you're a pervert out there, the first thing you think about is Janet Jackson's nipple.
The scandal.
The Justin Timberlake Janet Jackson scandal when she had a wardrobe malfunction on stage at the halftime show, and the nip was out. The nippy was outie.
Yeah, I mean, if you were just trying to enjoy the show, you got a show. You know what I mean? That's what it was. And it's so funny.
Were they able to censor that on TV?
No, it was live. That's a huge event, man. That's why they're definitely, within recent history, they're a lot more cautious with their costume changes and things with their, they hired a lot more like cautious acts as well, that they weren't getting a little like risque performances because you never know. That's what happened.
I saw this video of like it was during a play. I think it was like maybe like a Frozen play.
Oh, I saw that, dude. So funny.
And what are those people that help out behind the stage with the wear the black?
Usually like stage crew.
Yeah, the stage. So it was like a stage crew member who had the job of ripping off. Is it Elsa or Anna's?
Elsa's dress.
Elsa's dress during the song, and she like changes. And he went to rip the dress off and yanked the bitch right off the pedestal when she fell down. I was cracking up. It was so funny. But yeah, wardrobe malfunctions happen all the time. When I think of Super Bowl halftime show, though, it is not getting as popular as it once was. Like, you used to have like Prince and whoever was hot at that moment. That's the halftime show. It's like their reward for being one of the top artists. Nowadays, people like turn it down. I don't know why. Maybe it just has to do with like politics and shit like that. And I don't know. I don't know why people aren't as like inclined to do it now.
I think it's a lot of effort. I'm pretty sure they don't get paid for it at all.
Like we had fucking Coldplay. Who wants to fucking watch Coldplay at halftime?
Yeah, I mean,
sorry if you're a Coldplay fan. I don't want to see Coldplay at halftime.
I know like one of the best ones in recent history. I was Shakira and was that J-Lo?
Yeah.
I know there was like
people liked Coldplay.
Yeah,
but I did not.
I mean, there was the one with Beyonce and Bruno Mars. I mean, what they've been
Prince
doing.
in the Rain. That's one of the best ones ever.
Yeah.
Has Michael Jackson done a
Yes, I
show?
think he was.
Yeah. So I bet I was good.
What?
I was gonna be like, was football out when the Beatles were out? I don't know.
It was in the 60s, so Super Bowl.
Oh yeah, it was football played in like the 1905 or some shit. I don't know. But yeah, so when I think of Super Bowl, I think of the nipple. Next one.
Moving on.
Is the Kardashians. This is all right, what do you think? I'll let you go.
When I think of Kardashians, I don't know why, but I immediately think of plastic.
Plastic?
I don't know why, but it was, I think of the show.
You know why. Know why you think of plastic.
I think of Kim Kardashian, and I think of the term plastic. I think because I listen to a lot of comedians, whenever they go on the Kardashians, they always talk about fake and plastic and that kind of stuff, so.
Do you think they started like the idea of how social media portrays like sex?
I think they're a big help.
Or like figure.
In the idea of like, yeah, and like fake figures for women.
You have a piece of hair right here.
Hi,
you might want to tuck it in.
Did you get it?
Kinda. I don't know. You can work on that. Why I'd say. So when I think of the Kardashians, I'm a big Keeping Up with the Kardashians fan, and you can hate on me all you want, but I do like Keeping Up with the Kardashians. But it's sort of like they're the first ones to let people into their everyday lives. Like they were kind of groundbreaking in allowing cameras film almost their daily moves. Like some say it could be scripted, but I remember that's like Kim K. She got famous off a sex tape, right?
Yes.
So she got famous. Also, was that with Ray J?
Ray J, sex tape. Yes.
Okay, so she got famous. But Kate Jenner, she was famous before that. But that's how Kim K. I heard a story one time where Kim was smart in like how she plotted how paparazzi would portray her. So she would have like her like management team or her like I don't know, her posse, I guess you could say, and be like, hey, Kim's gonna go get her nails done at 3 p.m. at blank spot. Have paparazzi there, and then so she's like setting up her own paparazzi, so that she can be portrayed to the media a certain way, and that's how she kind of inclined her like social platform, and she literally killed it. Like, you can hate all you want, but how she handled her business, I guess you could say, without any talent, is pretty remarkable.
Yeah, I mean, she took a bad situation and turned it into a positive, right?
I mean, who said it was bad? I didn't say that.
But at the time, and it's going to be hard to explain that, like how to your kids, like how you got famous. But at the same time,
do you think her kids are going to Google the sex tape?
Oh, they'll know. Yeah,
they're going to watch it.
I don't know if
No, they're not gonna watch it.
No, I'm not saying they'll watch it, but they'll know. Because if not, you know how ruthless kids are? Kids are going to be like, you know how you know why you're famous? Because your mom got railed, you know?
Your mom got railed.
That's just what's going to be.
Have you seen the video?
Yeah.
Whoa.
You haven't seen the video? Don't act like it's a very famous tape. And you're gonna as a curiosity when you were younger, everyone in your middle school probably talked about it at one time. Like it just happened.
Middle school.
Yeah.
Paul's wearing his I Love Booby belt watching Kim K at lunchtime.
That was a life of a 12-year-old. What do you want me to do?
All right, next one.
Next one we have here is Marvel.
This shit. No flies today, but we got a little bug in my face. Marvel. So this is interesting how I'm going first.
Okay. What do you got for me?
They kind of, just like the Kardashians, I feel like they really reshaped the movie industry. Like they brought a whole different world. I would get, like, would you say they're more so correlated with Star Wars? Like that kind of like genre? So there was literally just like classic movies, and then you had Star Wars, and then like Marvel took Star Wars and put it on steroids, kind of. I feel like.
I think for for film, right? I think you have two types of film. You have critically acclaimed films, and you have pop culture and like blockbuster films. I think you have two types of films, and that's where Ryan said you have those like Academy Awards, those like very prestigious films,
Like De Niro, DiCaprio.
Yep, and then you have Star Wars, and Star Wars reshaped the idea of pop culture. Steven Spielberg, when he put out Jaws, is really known as the first like summer blockbuster film. And I think what Marvel has really done is Marvel's kept the movies alive. I mean, Marvel has kept the theaters alive, and what they've been able to do and bring people into the theater and be interested in the story of what Marvel's been able to do over the course of like 24, 25 films now, and then now even TV shows on Disney Plus. So
it's really remarkable, like the Marvel universe.
Yeah,
it's like Pixar and Star Wars were the only ones where they had a movie and basically had like a spider. What's that thing? The creative web. Like a spider, like a web, the creative web.
Sure.
It's like they basically took the product and then they strung out different branches and to make it a big corporation like Pixar and sort of like Star Wars. And it's almost like a balance between like a fucking Toy Story movie and the DiCaprio movie or De Niro movie. It's like you have those like human dynamics and human storylines, but with like superficial like characters.
So what Marvel really did well was that, we talked about it on the show a little bit before, was like what they did well and why I think they work so well is they take the superhero genre and they're not just superhero films, right? Like Captain America has their political thrillers. Right. And then we just had Black Widow and it was like a spy thriller. And we have the Guardians films, which are like space operas. That's what they're called. And it's kind of more of like the line of Star Wars, and we're in space and we're dealing with these things. And then you could do like Ant-Man, and Ant-Man is a heist film. Like in its core, that's what it is. So you can take these superhero films and you can attach them with different genres, and that way we keep it fresh, we keep it moving, and everyone's still interested. And it allows people to get involved in different genres of filmmaking as well through the lens of Marvel. And it just does really cool things. It definitely has pushed a lot of people to enjoy film a lot more, to get people and the pop or the normal like everyday movie-going audience into film more. And
it has human dynamics.
Yeah.
And it's yes, Spider-Man and the Hulk is turning into Mr. Big Green Guy, but at the same time they're relatable.
Yeah.
Like they're going to school and then they're turning into this and they have their superpowers, yet at the same time they have human characteristics where they're feeling emotions that people can relate to while watching the movie. So it's a really groundbreaking like creation that is like just fucking brilliant.
Marvel has changed the game for movies, and they're going to continue. And it's what Ryan said. It's based on storytelling and the human connection, and that's why you like films. If you can see a character that you like relate to, it gets you more involved in the story, and that's what Marvel does. It takes these huge events and huge things that are not natural and are out of this world, and it makes you connect with them somehow, and that's why you like them.
Yeah, me and Spider basically the same person. Like
you're a nerd.
Yeah, we're just like
you deliver pizza.
I don't deliver pizza.
And you got bit by a spider. And now,
I don't think I've ever been bitten by a spider. All right, next one. Saturday Night Live, Paul. What first comes to mind when you think of Saturday Night Live?
It's like you can think of comedians. You can think of like the beginning of careers. And you can just think of comedy.
So that's like a good point. Is like you think of beginning of careers.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think this falls in the same category as the Super Bowl halftime show. It's not what it once was. Like you have like Eddie Murphy and and Adam Sandler and Will Ferrell and all these guys went on to Saturday Night Live to kickstart their career. And even if they weren't there to kickstart their career, the famous people would come back and be the SNL cast. Nowadays, you don't really see, like, who's the most popular SNL character now? Like Kenan Thompson? And he doesn't have, like, his own, like, crazy, like, he's the main character in a movie. It doesn't really work like that anymore.
No.
And, like, I don't know the ratings of Saturday Night Live, but I guarantee they're not what they used to be with Eddie Murphy. And it was, like, the holy grail of comedy was SNL. And everyone would... I was asking my uncles on vacation. I was like, what was SNL like for you guys back in the day? And they're like, oh, we would get home Saturday Night Live. We'd be out with the friends. We'd have it on. It's like that was what everyone was looking forward to in the week was SNL because we knew we were going to laugh and have good content. And the biggest stars were going to be there. It's not like that anymore.
I think that's just with everything with media, though. Right? So you just have a lot more different venues that you can do.
Like the Tonight Show?
Well, no, like even like TikTok, right? Like how many comedians are on TikTok or like how many people, like we just watch so many more things where I'm not going to be watching Saturday Night Live on my Saturday. That's just not how it was.
Yeah.
But maybe back like 20, 30 years ago in the 70s when it started, like that was the big thing. And that's why movies used to make more money. I mean, we'll never compare to what movies used to make in the box office with, what was it, The Wizard of Oz and like those films that started out because that was the big event. There was like one movie out. That's what everyone went to. There wasn't YouTube. There wasn't all these like different types of media outlets where everyone can go to. And that's why a lot of people saying, theaters are going to die because we have all of these, streaming services that we can find media elsewhere. I was talking to friends over the weekend and I was like, what do you, where's your main source of content? Like, what do you watch? And they're like, YouTube. And I was like, I watch YouTube most of my time too, right? Like, that has no connection to TV, to movies, no nothing. That's literally like me or you, like what we're trying to do, create content for other people and try to grow. And it's very different from like that startup of like, oh, that celebrity you'd have to come through Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
Where like nowadays you don't have to do that.
You can almost like create your own channel.
Yep.
To allow people to watch you. And it's funny because you bring that up because I was actually watching a interview with Jimmy Kimmel and Kevin Hart. I like the guy. I like his work.
Yeah, you like Kevin.
I like Kevin Hart. All right. But he was interviewing Jimmy Kimmel, and Jimmy Kimmel was like, back in the day with like Leno and stuff, it was a big competition on who you would watch. It was like Letterman was on at 11:30, and then Jay Leno was also on at 11:30. So it was like a competition, who would you watch? And Jimmy Kimmel basically was like, there's not even that competition anymore with like Fallon, Seth Meyers, and James Corden. He's like, because all these kids, they just watch us through YouTube. He's like, we get more YouTube views than we do on the Tonight Show. So he doesn't even look at the ratings. So it's not like a competition between him and Jimmy Fallon or Seth Meyers, because all the kids like us who go on YouTube to watch these bits, we go through YouTube, and then we click on Jimmy Fallon, and then it'll take us to James Corden, Carpool Karaoke, and we'll watch all of them. So it is funny how everything is changing, and it'll be interesting in the next couple years to see where the media really goes, which is interesting.
Next one we have here is when I say Barstool Sports. What do you think of?
I think of Dave Portnoy. That dude is a character.
Dave Portnoy.
It's almost like something that we kind of want to like implement, right? So it's like it's crazy. Because Barstool, Dave said it took him like 20 years to make Barstool. So it is practically a grind. I love those kind of stories. And you bring up Dude Perfect all the time. That's another great, I guess, brand. They're like Dude Perfect LLC, I guess.
They're a brand.
But it's great to see these guys like Dave Portnoy who start from the bottom, have $5,000 in their bank account, work their ass off blogging for 20 years, and then branch off into pizza reviews, branch off into sports gambling. And they're truly on fire right now. I think they're like the number one sports media, maybe just media overall right now.
Well, we talked about it like months ago where, remember, last year, actually, this has been a year already. This is crazy. Remember when Dave Portnoy interviewed President Trump?
Yeah, I did.
And we were like, okay, like no matter whether you hate Trump, you hate Portnoy, you hate Barstool, you like them, whatever, you have to recognize how cool of a grind and cool of a push and like cool of an accomplishment that was for Dave.
That's like us starting now and then 15, 20 years, we're interviewing the president.
Like, it's just an amazing feat that he was able to get that far. And and he's continuing to grow and what Barstool's been able to like accomplish and do. And it's just something like, really interesting. And I think that shows like anyone can do a startup and you can go anywhere with it.
One last thing that I love about them is that they're their own self. Like they curse.
Yep.
Like cursing's, I'm not going to get into a rant about cursing, but I feel like it is a part of everybody's life. Like, I don't know. I feel like you should be allowed to curse. And they're not allowed to afraid about talking about things. Like, everyone's afraid of being, like, natural. Like, we like to be natural in here. We say shit what we think, and that's what people like about Let's Party. That's why we have so many subscribers, and appreciate y'all. But it's like that freedom to say what you want. So I love that about the Sports Barstool brand. They're always like branching out to do different shit. They literally just signed a contract to have full rights to a college football bowl game. Like, they're going to have full broadcast and TV rights.
Yeah.
That's, like, groundbreaking shit. And they're looking at MLB stuff, so it is dope to see how they're laying the footprints for how media is going to be handled later on in life.
For sure.
All right, am I next?
Yeah.
All right, this one is kind of a weird one. American Idol. What do you think of, Paul?
American Idol.
Do they even have American Idol nowadays?
They do.
Is it American Idol 38?
They stopped it for a while. I probably think of... Simon Cowell or Ryan Seacrest or...
Who were the first? Was Kelly Clarkson the first winner?
I think she was. Kelly or...
what about that Ruben Studdard guy? You remember him?
Ruben came in second.
He came in second that year?
Yeah, he came in second.
That was a big thing back in the
Clay
day.
Aiken.
Clay Aiken. Wasn't there a country person? Oh, Carrie Underwood.
It was Kelly or Carrie?
I think both.
Both came from American Idol, right?
So that was almost like where singers started their careers.
Well, that was the original one, right? It was originally American Idol.
And then, like, America's Got Talent.
That was, yeah, but it was before that. It was the only show. It was super big.
So big. I watched every episode.
Watched everything. Your family would stop everything what they were doing. You'd have dinner in front of the TV Tuesday nights or like Thursday nights. And it was kind of like, it was the moment. And I think that's why it was so big. And it was, we're creating these new, you were creating these new artists like that you're going to be seeing, and it was Simon Cowell, Paul Abdul, and Randy Johnson, and they were your three.
Randy Johnson?
Yeah.
Reggie Johnson. No, Randy
Johnson.
No,
Randy.
was it Randy Johnson?
Did I say Randy Johnson?
Randy Johnson was a pitcher in the MLB.
Yeah, but he's also...
His name is Randy. Randy Jackson? I don't know.
Randy Jackson.
Randy Jackson?
Jackson, that's right,
I was like, Randy Johnson.
No, Randy Johnson's the pitcher, but Randy Jackson, and they were your three, and then you had Ryan Seacrest, and that's what it was, and it's definitely not what it used to be, but I think that's because there's so many different competitors.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, they have like The Voice now and stuff.
Yeah.
People like that shit. They like to take the journey with the artist. All right, next one is Netflix, Paul.
Netflix. My thoughts.
It's just
a behemoth. It's a behemoth company.
I do want to say that Netflix does kind of have shitty content. Is that fair? Is it fair to say that I feel like they don't have a lot of good stuff? Like, I find that Hulu puts out more newer stuff out than Netflix. Like, there's got to be, like, a contract where, like, if a movie comes out and then Netflix has to wait a blank amount of time before they put it on their platform. But I feel like they're always, like, last.
What do you mean last? I don't agree with you.
You don't agree with me?
I think Netflix is putting out content like nobody's
business. That's because they got contracts. Like, people like Adam Sandler are signed Netflix deals.
Yeah, but
I'm saying if a movie comes out in the movie theater,
yeah,
that movie. So what's the movie? This new Spider-Man movie's coming out.
Okay.
Netflix isn't going to have that until like 2 years from now.
Yeah, but that's very different from like that. I mean,
so I'm saying outside of Netflix movies that they create under their contract, their content is butt.
But the thing is, I think the Netflix content, their original content, is so much better than everyone else's original content.
That is fair. That is probably correct.
But here's the thing. The reason is because their other content is because after like last 2 years, they're no longer getting any of that content. Like Disney, like they used to have Captain America on there and the first Iron Man, and they used to have all those movies, and then they would have different shows like Friends. And now NBC with Peacock, they took Friends off, right? And they took The Office off. And those iconic stuff, Marvel or Disney Plus took off all their Marvel content. And what they were creating like Daredevil and Jessica Jones and all those original Netflix series, Disney Plus took them off. So all of those other studios are competing with them now. So Netflix no longer has that pool from the other studios for their good content, which is making them create their own original content. Yeah. So like that's why you see like, oh, it's like the secondary content is but it's because they realize that
they can't really lead in that category.
Correct.
So it's like, let's lead in making our own shit that rocks.
Yeah.
There you go. That was nice. Right down there, Paul.
Last one you have here is online dating apps.
Online dating apps. I've never had one, but they are rather bizarre to me. Like, so you match with someone and then you're like forced to have a conversation with them.
Yeah.
I think it's just so corny how people like start their conversations. It's just like, I don't know. It's just a weird thing to me. There's a weird dynamic, and there's always new dating apps. I don't know why there's always new ones.
There's always new ones because everyone's just horny. Like, that's just what it is. I had a lot of friends in college. A lot of my fraternity brothers would always do funny pickup lines and stuff on Tinder, and it was always really funny to see what would stick because some stuff that they would say, I did not have the balls to ever send to somebody if I matched with them.
I saw someone change their location on their phone to the Olympic Village so that they were like swiping right or left to Olympian so they could have like Olympian babies. Brilliant idea. I mean, that is just a 5-star idea that person has.
Super smart. And if that's what you got to do, that's what you got to do. If you want to change your location. But it is funny what people will say to
I feel like it's weird, though, to like meet up after connecting on a dating app. We have friends that started out on dating apps.
We do, yeah.
So, hey, it works for people.
It definitely works
especially
for people.
During these times with COVID and like people don't go out often and you kind of have to know the person nowadays so they don't have any diseases such as the COVID disease, rabies, you name it. So you like go on a dating app first.
Rabies.
Crack cocaine addiction. You air that out first before meeting them in person.
And our last segment of today, we are switching over and we're doing some Pixar facts.
3 big Pixar facts that we like, Paul. Giving it to the people. It's what they like.
Ryan was talking about Pixar earlier. Pixar is an amazing animation studio we love talking about here on the show. And something that I've talked about with what Marvel does, and then I watched some special on Disney Plus, and what was really cool about this one person's job over at Pixar, so this is like her main job, but what's really cool is that Pixar changes their movies to be relatable in other countries. So if especially with all their writing, so if they have like a lot of writing, anything that's written down, you see like a character write a note or there's a poster on the wall, everything has to be translated when you're looking at like the different translations and the different versions of the movies. So that's really cool. And then something like this, so to go into this a little bit further, so Disney actually changes some details and movies to be relatable to different cultures. And then a well-known example of this is from Inside Out. The scene where Riley won't eat her broccoli was actually changed in some Asian countries since Asian cultures don't have the same problem with broccoli.
Since they're not fatties like Americans.
They actually like their broccoli.
They actually enjoy eating their green vegetables, broccoli. Us fatties, we have a problem doing that. Yeah. We like McDonald's.
And then,
so they change it up for that.
Yeah, and then something different that they did as well. So Pixar, in that same movie, Inside Out, they also swapped out hockey for soccer in other countries that aren't as familiar with hockey.
I mean, that's really going above and beyond. Like bending the movie. I mean, I don't know how much time. I don't know if you know how much time or effort that actually takes into switching those things, or even just like the language, because you got to find someone to basically do the same. No, the same actors like Buzz Lightyear or some shit. They don't.
No.
So they find someone else to be Buzz Lightyear.
Yeah, so there's a lot of different actors. If you're doing like a Spanish version of the film, usually they'll do a whole different cast that'll be in Spanish. And they'll do the Spanish dub of the film.
That's like making like multiple movies at once.
Yeah.
Well, that's really nice of them.
So it's cool that, that Pixar will swap out that stuff to make it more relatable, as we said with the broccoli. And then, soccer is popular in a lot of countries over the world. So when they did international version of Inside Out, they changed the scene where I think it was the dad, in his brain, he was watching hockey because he loved hockey. That when they did the international version, that dad would watch like soccer.
Maybe that's why they're just so successful.
That's what
because they're in the gym like MJ putting up shots at 3 a.m. when no one else is. They're going above and beyond, and that's why they're most successful. What are they? Just
animation studio
out there. Good job, Pixar. Let's give it a round of applause for Pixar. All right, people who are on YouTube, we're actually back. We had a little video malfunction.
Yeah,
but you can see our beautiful faces again. Isn't that awesome? Okay, next one. This is the next Pixar fact. It is that one lunchtime brainstorming session actually conceived A Bug's Life, Monsters, Inc., Finding Nemo, and WALL-E. That is 4 of Pixar's greatest movies of all time. All were brainstormed during lunch. So it was actually on a day in 1994 at the Hidden City Cafe in Port Richmond, California, which would be cool if they had like stationed that section where they were eating. That'd be pretty cool. That's like, we like that.
Or they had like a little plaque or something, right?
Yeah, I'd be interested if they actually had that. So that'd be pretty interesting. So John Lasseter, Andrew Stanton.
John Lasseter.
I don't know these fucking guys. Andrew Stanton, related to John Carlos Stanton, Joe Ranft, and Peter Docter, who is not actually a doctor, were having a meeting about Toy Story when they began scrawling on some napkins. So basically, I love this story so much, is that they literally were writing on napkins with like a pen from a pocket about these ideas, and it turned out that a lunch turned into Bugs Life, Monsters Inc., Finding Nemo, WALL-E, and I'm pretty sure they like profited from that lunch. Like the lunch was probably like $35, and I think they did well above that for the ideas that inspired during that lunch. Yes. So they must have been some really good chicken fingers.
This is a famous story in Pixar history and in Pixar animation at the studio. And I've actually, when I was watching this behind the scene thing on Disney Plus, they talked about this lunch as well. And it was just something where, you know, people tell you when you have ideas, you write them down. You know, no matter how good your idea is. There was a whole big thing with Lin-Manuel Miranda when he was writing Hamilton, where he was on the train in New York to his buddy's birthday party, and he had a great idea, and he didn't have anything to write it down in, and he was like, I need to like write this down and like stop and think for a moment and like fully flesh out his idea. So he ended up not going to the birthday party, and he ended up going home. And this is kind of the same idea where it's like, hey, you have this idea, and they were just brainstorming. They took some napkins out and they wrote literally these ideas for these 4 major films on a napkin.
Dude, I love it.
And that's just what it is. I mean, any idea can come from anywhere at any time, and this is a pure example.
It's a great story. I was literally in bed, and I like write all my comedy bits in my notes for when I do stand up. And the other day, I was laying in bed, and I was like, I thought of this great bit, and I was like, oh, I'm so tired. Like, I'm not gonna roll over and write it down. I'll remember it in the morning. What do you know? Bang! Went to bed, woke up, completely forgot it. So it is like once you have an idea that like it could turn into a Bug's Life. I love Bug's Life. Writing on a napkin. One of I bring him up often, pretty much. Just Mike Stud, one of my favorite artists.
Yep.
He came out with a documentary, and like one of the scenes is where he wakes up, or his friends wake up for breakfast, and he's like, "Guys, you guys gotta come check this out. I literally wrote and developed 3 like bangers last night." So he shows his friends, and it was 3 songs that made it to the album one night. 3 songs. So it's like you get those bursts of ideas and write them down, because you know big things can come from them.
For sure. And last Pixar fact we have here.
Cab's here.
Cab's here.
The last baseball fact we have here. Cab's here.
Last Pixar fact we have here is the voice actor, John Ratzenberger. He has voiced almost a character in every Pixar film. So I think recently, like Luca and the newer Pixar films, he wasn't in. But he was basically a voice actor in almost every Pixar film. And you would know John Ratzenberger. He was the voice of Ham in Toy Story.
Nice.
So Ham, he did Mac in Cars. He was the Abominable Snowman in Monsters, Inc. He was the waiter in Ratatouille. I'm trying to think. In Inside Out, he was one of the guys like in Riley's head.
Why did you say you're trying to think? You're literally reading.
Well, I'm looking at it. Well,
I'm trying to think as he's reading the answer.
No, I don't.
I'm trying to think what.
We don't have
like a picture of cards right there.
We don't have. Well, I'm trying.
It doesn't have.
I'm trying to think of the characters' names in the films. And another one too is in The Incredibles. He is the voice of.
Is that Coco?
This is something different.
That's
but in the
stay in my lane.
Yeah, stay in your lane, buddy. And in Incredibles, he was the voice of the Underminer at the end, and then in the beginning of Incredibles 2.
Is he that good, or is it just like a little Easter egg that they wanted to incorporate in Pixar movies, or do you think he's like that talented and he should be in those movies, or do you think it's a little bit of both?
It's a little bit of both. He's that good, but it also is become almost like a voice Easter egg. Like we have the Easter eggs in Pixar, as we talked about before. We have like the Luxor ball with the star on it. We have the Luxo lamp, or we have the Pizza Planet truck, or we have different visual cues and different visual Easter eggs that we see in all these Pixar films. This is like a voice Easter egg, which is dope.
Nice. So 3 Pixar facts that are fun to bring up at the dinner table, family dinner table.
Yeah, you never know when you need facts. If you're having a boring conversation, if you're getting drunk and you just need something to talk about.
Tinder date, dating app date. You got 3 Pixar facts that you could hit her with.
Absolutely.
Well, we can't leave them hanging with the Coco. What was the Coco thing?
I don't hear. I can. It was some
2017 Coco Juan Ortodontia.
So this was part. Oh, so this is a bunch of his roles.
So I was right.
You were right, but
he was in Coco.
So in Coco, he was a guy named Juan, and it was the short. It says it was the shortest part in any Pixar film, and that's what
does Ham in Toy Story have a lot of words?
He has a bunch of lines. Yeah, Ham.
All right, cool, good show.
There you go.
Even though you missed our beautiful face for a couple of it.
Yeah, we're still trying to figure some things out. Unfortunately, even a year and a half later, we always have.
We're gonna have 3 cameras soon, so we'll have like a bunch of angles. So I know you guys are really excited about that at home.
But definitely, we appreciate you guys listening as always. And we got some good things in the pipeline. We got a new set, hopefully, as Ryan said, in a few weeks. And
merchandise.
We're gonna be changing. We got some shirts coming your way that we're hoping to help afford the set that we're building. That we're super excited
we are
for.
now broke. we are now broke. So this has to pop off, or we may be homeless. Also, want to plug in that we're doing a gambling show, Paul. We're branching off into the gambling world. For all of you who follow us on Instagram, last year we did a college football seasonal gambling show where me and 4 other people came up with picks each week. So it's going to be a seasonal college football show. We're going to have it on our new set. It's going to be a branch off Life's a Party. So it's going to be part of the brand, and you'll find it on YouTube and Twitter. So we're excited about that. So we got the movies, branching off into sports, have the main show. We're going to do, me and Paul are going to go out into the real world, do some real bits, have a bunch of people hopping on board. So we're excited for Life's a Party LLC, Paul.
Excited, baby. Life's a Party, life's always a party. Thanks for watching and listening, as always.
Music, take us out. Later.